Hello, and welcome to Frank's School. I'm going to call this the third video of the 89th day of this year, fourth year, and I am going to read Diderot. My sonnet Diderot. I gave you a link. You can go and hear me read it earlier in the course if you want. That would take a little typing and 2 clicks. I'll just read it. I love this poem. It might be my favorite poem of any, not that I've written that much poetry, but if somebody put a gun to my head and said, you recite one of your poems right now and make it perfect, this is what would come to mind, because I probably could recite it. I'll read it. I recited it at the early one from memory. Again, I'll repeat that I don't think you should have to say too much about a poem. A poem should stand on its own. But there is one spot in this I really like. I say, I too had French and credentials that allowed me to look. French and credential. I like that well, I don't know if it was fortuitous. I think I knew what I was doing. Anyway, that's called internal rhyme. And I don't think I mentioned it. I did discuss the circumstances around Diderot. I'm working at Old Bedford Village and going down to Washington to look at the original Diderot's encyclopedia. And the credentials were I was the crafts program director at Old Bedford Village, so I was allowed to go into the rare book room. All right, anyway, here it comes. Diderot. In the strength of the farm, I went down to the city of power. My search for the past of my skills found the room of the rare book. Never had mountain man been there so much as an hour, but I too had French and credentials that allowed me to look. Back at the turning from greatness to bigness in Paris, when knowledge was precious and all things had power of speech, the drawings of Diderot honored the skills that I now miss. The craftsman then spoke in the language of all in his reach. Now in the city, the climax of bigness around me, I was wounded, struck by the grief of the loss of that magic. I fled through the gauntlet of mechanical marvels with pity for people, the victims, the prey of the monster mechanic. Back on the farm, I found Maker Mountain still there and was healed by the fire, the water, the earth, and the air. Like that sonnet. Now, another thing, since I'm being poetical, in the video I made last time, you might have noticed there was a poem up here. I had the camera set kind of wrong, and it was in there, and I thought, I might as well let them know what that is. This is my wife's writing. I found it in some old papers. What's it say in the back? For the king who came back to Dutch Corner from a candidate for the queenship. She thought of me as a king, and that was before we married. Anyway, it's Tolkien's, and she knew I liked this poem, and so copied it out for me. Yeah, not my work now, from J.R.R. Tolkien. The king beneath the mountains, the king of carven stone, the lord of silver fountains shall come into his own. The woods shall wave on mountains, and grass beneath the sun. His wealth shall flow in fountains, and rivers golden run. The streams shall run in gladness, the lakes shall shine and burn. All sorrow fail and sadness at the mountain king's return. That was so sweet. It took me a quarter of a century to get back to this farm, actually, but that's kind of another story. All right. I'm gonna in real time. I'm gonna make another video today, and it will conclude the semester. So, bye for now.